I never thought it would come to this, but you're propping up a very unlikely candidate for 2028. This is all to your doing. This is all because of your polling. Folks, take a listen to who it is. If you're a sports fan, you're going to know who this man is.
Just want to let y'all know where I'm at. Not interested in running. Hope it doesn't come to that. But I was told I owe it to all of us to at least leave the door open. That's what I did. By the way, this Sunday, I'm scheduled to be on This Week with George Stephanopoulos on ABC. And practically every other network is called. They're apparently taking it very seriously. So I have no choice but to do so. It just comes down to that. It just comes down to that.
When Stephen A. Smith runs for president in 2028 and beats out whoever the Republican nominee is, I am going to give you Mark Mitchell's address. Mark, what the hell's going on here?
I had no idea it was going to get that big. Somebody came to me. It wasn't Stephen A. Smith. It was, I think, his friend or another podcast he's affiliated with or whatever. And they're like, hey, let's run a poll and see how he does. And I'm like, yeah, sure. And listen, I'll poll for anybody. I do not care. I will poll for anybody who's willing to sign up for our ethical, limitations and pay me money and likes polling, and I will do it for you. And unfortunately, Democrats have never come to me. It's almost like they don't want honest poll results, but this one did. And I said, yeah, hell yeah, I do this. It's actually one of the funnest polls I've ever gotten to do because Stephen A. Smith does really, really well. And there's probably some bad news for Republicans in there too, but in a Democrat primary, he only trails Kamala Harris by 21 points. I think it was like 45 to 24. And he almost beats AOC and Gavin Newsom, which is absolutely incredible. Gavin Newsom's governor of California, and AOC has, millions and millions of followers, and he's only 4 points behind AOC and 3 points behind Gavin Newsom. In the Democrat primary, that is big. And then in the general, he only trails JD Vance by 4 points. Now, I know it's long way away, a whole lot of caveats apply, but that would tend to make me think that the Republicans can't necessarily count on converting all those Donald Trump voters into JD Vance voters or whoever else. Right. So Republicans have a lot of work to do. So you can consider this a free service for you guys to get your crap in order. But what it's saying is Americans are very open to the idea of an outsider coming in because they think the Democrat Party's got problems, and the Democrats proving them right by showing that they have major problems. And so, hey, the Democrat, I've been saying this, they need an outsider to come in and clean things up because they're just so co-opted. They're in such disarray. They have no authority to tell any voters that, yeah, we have a real way we can fix this. Yeah. All it's going to be is oh, hey, the 2028 Republican, he's just more like Trump and we're not Trump. So vote for us. That's literally what appears to be their plan right now. Or it's like AOC, we're going to murder CEOs and burn things down. That could be too. And so, yeah, he does well. He should keep the door open. And what's going to happen is they're going to come after him. They're just going to make him pay for even thinking that he could take over this huge, powerful apparatus that's the Democrat Party.
I mean, you could give the Republican Party the answers to the test, Mark, and they'd still fail. They're that dumb.
Yeah.
They're that likely to screw up an open field. It's what they do. It's what they do every single election. And with Donald Trump not on the ballot in 2028.
And they did it this week. Chuck Grassley. What are you doing, dude?
Right. Yeah. Right. They care more about fighting their own party to do it. The thing that scares me about Stephen A. Smith, I don't know the answer to this, and I'm going to see if you know the answer to it, is what percentage of the now, Stephen A. Smith is a sportscaster, guy on ESPN. Yep. He's nothing more than that. Not a slight to him. That's what he is. He's a sportscaster. What percentage of the population, for him to be doing this good, what percentage of the population watches sports? I bet it doesn't correlate with how high his numbers are in the polling.
Well, so in this poll, Republicans were more likely to say they watch sports, and Republicans had pretty high favorability ratings for him, especially the ones that said they knew that they were familiar with him. And more Republicans were familiar with Stephen A. Smith than Democrats. And so it's like he appeals to some of those people. Now, he will probably lose them, right? But he'll probably gain Democrats. 50% of Democrats answered not sure to his favorability rating. But that's what's crazy. Like, among all likely voters, when you ask what Stephen A. Smith's favorability rating is, 44% said not sure. And yet he still is only 4 points behind J.D. Vance. So Democrats will literally vote for who they're told to. It all just comes down to, will he be able to get that top spot or not? And he does 11 points in a three-way with Harris and Vance. And so that's not nothing. It's less than RFK Jr. did back in December of 23. But what would happen if he ran as a spoiler is those people would just jump ship to either side as the election approached. So it comes back to that thing, right, where it's like the Democrat Party has a problem, but they're not going to let anybody in who will fix it.
So that's my next question to you before we wrap up here. At what point does he become RFK and become public enemy number one? Because we've seen the Democrats do this time and time again. Happened to Bernie Sanders, happened to Tulsi Gabbard, it happened to RFK Jr. And it's what swayed these center-left Democrats towards the right. It's what brought RFK Jr. on to Donald Trump's team. They alienate anyone who doesn't subscribe to their bullshit, to their Marxist left ideology, where the planet's on fire, everything's on fire. You have to subscribe to what we're telling you, or you're out of here. At what point, does it come to that? Because you have to imagine the Democrats and Kamala Harris is absolutely terrified. I mean, Stephen A. Smith, he's a Democrat, but he speaks more clear and more concise and more to the point than any Democrat. And this is why I'm mad at you, but any Democrat that they have potentially in the field. You look at J.B. Pritzker. He makes Chris Christie look like a track star. You look at Gavin Newsom. The guy couldn't get water turned on in California. You look at Gretchen Whitmer, who faked her own kidnapping. You look at Kamala Harris, who can't form two sentences together. Who am I leaving out there, Mark? Do you want to run Joe Biden again?
People would vote for him.
I mean, he's the most level-headed out of all of them.
Yeah. Well, what it comes down to is the things that he is saying are things that are fundamentally like cardinal sins in the Democrat Party. He's calling for Democrat reform. He's talking about fiscal responsibility. And I think he's also open to opposing the gender stuff. And so all that is non-starters, the same way that I could tell you back when RFK initially got 16% of the vote. It's like, first off, he came out of the gate with a higher Republican favorability than Democrat. And that's because in this current political climate, conservatives are more open-minded than liberals are, for sure. And what I predicted is, like, he is incompatible with the Democrat Party. It's never going to happen. He's going to have to jump shift to the right. It's only a matter of when and how much political capital he still has left. Turns out the political capital he has left when he jumped ship was 4%. And so I think he helped Donald Trump gain about 0.5 to 1%, probably is the ultimate, but he secured himself an ability to impact things. So as Stephen A. Smith, if he runs as a spoiler, he's going to say things and he's going to probably be othered and ostracized, and maybe he'll get shoved to the right. I don't know. Like, how many times the Democrats have to keep doing this, We'll see.